Yeah, I mean it's been a great start of the year. It wasn't easy, to be honest, because I had to be strong mentally with my team, and I'm just really happy and really proud about everything I've done in the position, and the first tournaments of the year. Just playing a great tennis. Really happy about. About this week. I think we've done a great week, not only on the.
Arthur Fils surrenders to Carlos Alcaraz. Bastard, you did really well. The Frenchman acknowledged his disappointment with the match he played in the final. Arthur Fils was barely able to put up a fight in the Doha final against Carlos Alcaraz. The Frenchman did not have his day and in 50 minutes was swept out of the title fight by a Spanish player who was in a state of grace. Fils himself had few words after the match and could only surrender to his opponent. Bastard, you played very well. You did a tremendous job, man. It's a joke. Congratulations to you and your team. I wish you many more. Keep it up, the Frenchman said with a laugh, unable to do anything but take it with humor. Beyond the defeat, he wanted to highlight the importance of being back in a final after the ordeal of the past few months with his injury. I want to thank the crowd. I'm very sorry about the final. I know it wasn't a good show, but thank you very much. It's been 8 long months with my injury. A lot has happened. I guess in a moment like this you just have to think about the 8 months when I was struggling, not playing tennis. I want to thank my team. I'm sorry, guys, today wasn't the day, but I think we did an excellent job, said the Frenchman, affected as could not be otherwise by the painful defeat. A beautiful message from Alcaraz. Friends on and off the court, Alcaraz wanted to dedicate a lovely message to Fils. Arthur, it's a pleasure to share the court with you. I told you that, more than the results and everything else, I'm really happy to see you back on court. I know you had physical difficulties. You had injury problems. I've been through that, said the player from El Palmar at the start of his speech. A nice gesture from the tennis player from El Palmar, who encouraged him to keep going. Being able to forget it and start again, playing such good tennis. Reaching the final, I'm very happy to share the court, the locker room and the tournament with you. Good job with your team and your family. Keep it up, he concluded. How much money does Alcaraz earn for the Doha Open 500 title? The player from Murcia takes home a check for $529,945 compared to Fils $285,095 as runner-up. Carlos Alcaraz has taken the entire spoils of Doha. And that includes a reproduction of the Golden Falcon of the Qatari capital, which is only won outright if the tournament is conquered 3 years in a row. The player from Murcia adds 500 more ranking points and a check for $529,945, while Arthur Fils, as finalist, receives 330 points that bring him closer to the world top 30. The Frenchman will appear at number 33 next Monday. The money earned by Carlitos in Qatar adds to the $2,771,785 he took from Melbourne, thanks to winning the Australian Open title. 2 tournaments played and 2 won for the phenomenon from El Palmar. Over the course of his short career, he is only 22 years old, he has already amassed $63,333,776. The next stop on the calendar for him and the rest of the players is the Indian Wells Masters 1000, March 4th to 15th. Carlos Alcaraz keeps adding up. The Spaniard remains unbeaten this season with a 12-0 record after being crowned champion of the ATP 500 in Doha by sweeping aside Arthur Fils in the final. With this, Alcaraz now has 26 ATP titles in his career, including 7 Grand Slams. This places him as the second active player with the most titles, only behind Novak Djokovic. One more for Carlitos' collection, as he continues to widen the gap over players of the caliber of Jannik Sinner, Alexander Zverev, Daniil Medvedev or Marin Cilic. Matches played in this 2026 season, and he is the only player on tour unbeaten so far this year. Everything is going perfectly for the world number 1, who continues to dominate the ATP rankings with an iron fist. The standings after the ATP 500 in Doha are as follows. Carlitos remains world number 1 with 13,550 points, holding a 3,250 point lead over Jannik Sinner, who has 10,350 points. After the tournament, the gap between the 2 titans and the rest is enormous, and also between the Spaniard and the Italian, meaning Carlitos is already guaranteed to begin the claycourt swing at the top of the ATP rankings. Djokovic occupies 3rd place with 5,280 points, being the first of the mortals, as from there the points gap becomes more compact compared to 4th place Zverev with 4,555 points. Lorenzo Musetti remains 5th and Alex de Minaur 6th. The first change comes in 7th place, which has been taken by American Taylor Fritz after overtaking Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime, who now sits in 8th. Ben Shelton is 9th and Alexander Bublik rounds out the top 10. The next Spaniard on the list, after Carlos Alcaraz, is Alejandro Davidovich, 14th, who climbs one spot compared to last week. This week confirms that Carlos Alcaraz is the most informed tennis player at the moment and that he is light years ahead of the rest, even of Jannik Sinner, who has started the year quite irregularly and still has not reached a tournament final. I'm in a small slump, but it's nothing that worries me. It's normal to go through some tough moments. I've been through even more complicated ones in the past. I know how to come back. I'm very calm and I'm sure the work will pay off, he said as he left Doha. Alcaraz secures the number 1 ranking. Thanks to Carlos Alcaraz's strong performances in Melbourne and Doha, the Spaniard secures his position as world number 1 until the start of the clay court swing. Not even if the player from San Condito wins the Sunshine Double, the Masters 1000 events in Indian Wells and Miami, and Alcaraz fails to win a single match with the difference drop below 100 points, so there is no chance of the Italian reclaiming the ATP throne in the coming months. In addition, it so happens that in the week when the clay season begins at the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, Carlitos will equal the number of weeks Sinner has spent as world number 1, a total of 66. This means the Spaniard will match, and even surpass, one of the few records in which Jannik was better than Alcaraz. Now he already surpasses him in Grand Slam titles, in Masters 1000 titles, in weeks as world number 1, and also in the head-to-head, which currently stands at 10-6 in favor of the Spaniard. Carlos Alcaraz, on his breakfast, I like it to be light, with coffee, eggs, toast and fruit. The player from Murcia is clear that elite tennis is not sustained by talent alone. Behind every match there is a meticulously measured routine, where consistency, rest and smart nutrition become essential tools of the trade. The Spanish tennis star explained in an interview with GQ magazine how he organizes the first hours of his day and what role breakfast plays in his preparation. He does not talk about magic formulas or impossible plans. His approach is rooted in practicality. His choice can be summed up in a light and functional pattern: fresh fruit, toast, eggs and, without fail, coffee. With one key clarification that makes all the difference in his daily life: it depends a lot on where I am, because I travel a lot. A light breakfast to train. For an athlete like Alcaraz, the goal of breakfast is not indulgence, but preparing the body for effort without feeling heavy. That is why his combination follows a clear logic: quality energy, easy digestion and enough of a boost to face an intense session first thing in the morning. Fruit acts as the starting point, providing vitamins, antioxidants and natural hydration that help compensate for hours of sleep. It also supplies simple carbohydrates that are quickly absorbed, offering immediate fuel after the overnight fast. Toast adds the kind of energy muscles need to activate, as carbohydrates help sustain performance and ensure the body has adequate reserves available. Depending on the day and the intensity of the upcoming session, the amount may vary, but the principle remains the same: enough to perform, never so much as to feel sluggish. Eggs also feature in his breakfast, a source of high biological value protein that aligns with the need to protect muscle mass and support recovery. Protein in the morning helps stabilize blood sugar levels and prolong satiety, something especially useful when training sessions stretch over several hours. However, if there is one thing the Spaniard does not negotiate, it is coffee. Beyond habit, caffeine is linked to improved alertness, reaction time and concentration, crucial factors in a sport where split-second decisions define points. It is also associated with a feeling of activation before exertion, an important detail when, as often happens to Alcaraz, the day begins almost seamlessly between breakfast and training. His routine reflects a broader philosophy that extends beyond food. Simplicity, balance and consistency guide his preparation. Traveling constantly on the ATP Tour forces him to adapt to different time zones, cultures and hotel menus, so keeping breakfast recognizable and straightforward gives him a sense of control amid constant change. In a career where margins are razor thin and physical demands relentless, small daily habits can make a meaningful difference over the course of a long season. Clear routine, familiar ingredients and one steady principle. Simple can also be the most effective.